Let's get it going. Okay, good. Here we go. Oh my gosh, this conversation today is it is near and dear to my heart. It is something I remind myself every single day about how important it is. And it is about the importance and power of faith as you are going for your up level. The importance and power of faith as you are going for your up level. And I'm not talking about necessarily religious faith, okay? We're going to talk about today what this means, why this is important, and how you can cultivate more faith as you step out and you take those big, what could feel like very scary actions towards your desires. Michelle, good morning. Kalua, good morning. Oh, I love seeing each of you every morning. As always, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, please pop me a comment so I know you're here. But here's what I want to know. Like who out of those of you who are here, did that make sense? Yes. Who out of those of you who are here are going for something really big right now? Like you're going for something that feels stretchy and expansive and isn't something that the old you would have done and isn't something maybe that your parents would have done, but is something that is lighting your heart on fire in terms of your mission, your desire, where you're going, where you've got this, like this calling on your heart. I know so many of you are, launching new programs, starting new sales careers, making big strides for your families. And those things can feel scary, right? It can feel like you don't know what you're doing. It can feel like you're in the unknown. Jen, good morning. Oh, Kalua, you're saying you? Yep, absolutely. And I know you are. Who else? Who else is going for something that's really stretching them right now? I'm in it with you. Like I will just say, I am in it with you. I'm going for a lot of things right now that are very, very, very stretchy, and having faith that things are working out for us always is so critically important when we're doing that. So I want to really dive into the power of that faith today and how you can cultivate it more so that you feel supported, because when you're really going for the up level, you're not going to know how it all works out. Like if you've already done the thing you're going for before, it's not an up level. It's not a stretch. So you're not meant to know how it's all going to come together. And it's going to feel like uncharted territory when you're stretching and expanding at big levels, which is why I know that you're here. And so we've got to train our minds to focus on things working for us rather than not working for us, which is where the mind can want to go. So that's some of what we're going to be talking about today. Michelle is saying the old me would have never done this, but the new me is excited. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. Yes. And I know you are growing and you are expanding and you are up leveling in so many ways. And so this is going to be perfect. Maureen, oh my gosh, good morning. Oh, it's so good to see you. Let me check comments. John on LinkedIn, good to see you. Good morning. Dee on LinkedIn, good morning. Oh, you ordered the Millionaire Moses book. It's so good. I can't wait to hear what you think. Started a new sales career. Oh my gosh, amazing. It's a stretch. I have strong faith for sure. Beautiful. Okay, you're in the perfect place, my friend. Mary Beth, good morning. So good to see you. We're talking about the power of faith today. And when we talk about faith, like I said before, I'm not saying religious faith per se, but it is that faith, that knowing that you can trust where you're going. You can trust your desires for more, and you can trust that things are working for you. Because our brains, the way it's conditioned, the way your brain works is that when you're stretching, when you're growing, when you're moving into that, more of that uncharted territory, the animal brain, the amygdala part of your brain, right? Well, it'll want to go into what could go wrong. Who experiences that? Like let me know, give me a yes, give me a heart, give me a hand raise in the comments if your brain's tendency is to have something that you're excited about doing, to have something that feels stretchy, and then to go into what could go wrong. Am I thinking too big? Who am I to want this, right? Like this is how our brain is wired. And I know it because I've really conditioned my brain to not go there very much anymore. It still happens occasionally. It's kind of like with every new level, you find it still happens, right? But you can train that out of yourself by learning to shift your focus and learning that you are in control of your mind and you are not your thoughts. You can direct your thoughts. You are the director of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, but it takes practice, okay? It takes practice. And so I'm going to give you some tools today that you can use to help with that. Glue is saying, oh, yes. Michelle is saying, of course. Yeah, totally, totally. And so here's the thing. Faith and fear are just two ends of the same stick. That's it. They're two ends of the same stick. When you are going into the unknown, when you are going for the up level, which I know you are because you're here, you have a choice. And the choice is whether you're going to choose faith or whether you're going to choose fear. Both of them are putting energy into something that hasn't happened yet, right? So worry, I remember hearing someone say this once because I used to really struggle with visualization. I don't know if any of you do, but I never really understood like how to visualize and why I would do it and the power of it. And I heard someone say like, you visualize all the time when you worry. You're visualizing all the time. Worry is just negative visualization. That's it. So you're actually if you find yourself worrying, guess what? You are a great visualizer, but you're visualizing what you don't want, which is why it comes about, because you're putting that image in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious just goes to work creating whatever it is that you think about a lot. So we want to learn that when we have the choice, which we always have, we focus on faith, right? Faith that things are working out, faith that you can trust what you want, faith that life is meant to be way better than it is right now and way better than you could ever imagine as well. And so I want to read to you, we've been going through there go my husband's flashcards. We've been going through Think and Grow Rich together. Make sure I'm still live. Okay, good. And this sentence that I'm going to read to you, or sentences, 3 sentences, I think, are from the chapter on desire. I know some of you are joining like closer to the first time. Have you read Think and Grow Rich? Are you familiar with it? Let me know. I'm revisiting it with you, and it's such a powerful, powerful, powerful book. But I want to go into this chapter on desire with you because this one line to me is so powerful. The whole course of things, this is from Emerson, the whole course of things goes to teach us faith. We need only obey. There is guidance for each of us, and by lowly listening, we shall hear the right word. So when you are, how do we want to talk about this? When you're really expanding, it requires massive amounts of faith. It does. It requires massive amounts of faith. And it requires being in control of your mind and in control of how you think. And I can tell you everything in my life, really for many years, but really, especially this past year, has been a lot of leading out with faith and learning to look inside and listen and say, where am I being called? Even in this move that we had last week, it was a move on faith. It didn't make really logical sense. If you looked at it on paper in a spreadsheet, it would be like, that doesn't really make much sense to do that right now. But we really felt called to be here. And I was like, I'm going to trust it. And we're going to take the steps. And even in, the week really that we've been here, I guess week and a half almost now, there have been so many internal shifts that I've experienced in terms of up-leveled mindset. There's been healing in my relationship. There's been so many things already that are like, yes, this is exactly why we're here, even though it really was a move out in faith. But we have to also, we have to learn to trust and get still and quiet to get that guidance. Whether that's prayer, whether that's meditation, whether that's walking in the woods, like whatever your practice is. Wayne, you're saying faith in God. Yeah, absolutely. And this is trust him with all your heart. Sure, absolutely. This is very much Like whatever your spiritual path or leaning is, it's what is that faith for you, right? But faith in something bigger, faith that you can trust where you're going, and faith that you can trust those instincts and those nudges. And absolutely, Wayne, to what you're saying. Kara, good morning. So good to see you. Let me welcome on Instagram, Martin. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. Kate, good morning. Rita, good afternoon. So good to see you. We're talking about the importance of faith today and the power of faith as you're going for your up level. And when I think about, we have such a beautiful community here. When I think about the women and the men in our community, they are going for things at a big level. And I know for many of them who are working in one of our programs, the investment was not easy. Like I know many of you, and I know the investment was not an easy investment. And when you're doing it right, it never is. Like if an investment doesn't really stretch you in personal development, it's probably not the right investment. So I know it wasn't easy. And there's a high degree of faith required in that up level as well. John, good morning. Good to see you. And I am inspired by the women in our community every day. I see, and whether you're working in one of our programs or not, the fact that you're here in this live stream, like I see you, I know that you're going for the up level. And I would love to ask too in these comments, like, what is that up level you're going for right now? Why are you here today? What is the thing that feels so stretchy and so expansive and is requiring a lot of faith for you to step out and take action on? Let me know. I genuinely want to know. Melissa, good morning. Laura, good morning. Great to see you. But when you're going for that up level, I want to share with you 2 ways you can think about it that are going to help you step out more in faith for what you want. Because the directions and what you feel called to do, it's not going to feel like the quote unquote safe thing. Okay. It's not often going to make logical sense either. It'll make sense in reverse. Okay. So when you look back on it, it's like, Steve Jobs talks about like connecting the dots backwards. When you look back on it, you'll be like, oh, that's why we did that. That makes sense. That's coming together that way. But it won't usually make sense. The actions you're being called to take, those downloads you get in those still, quiet times, whether through prayer, through meditation, they won't make logical sense, but it will be a knowing, like a feeling of expansion in your body. Oh my gosh, like, wouldn't that be amazing to do that, right? And so there's 2 things you can do to help take greater action in faith. And these were actually inspired by, I had a call with, every Monday, I have a call with my accountability partner, my mastermind partner, and she is working with a coach named Kelly Roach, and she was sharing these 2 mindset things that Kelly shared with her. And I thought, gosh, these are so powerful. And so I wanted to share them with you today because Kelly, for those of you who aren't familiar with her, she's built an 8-figure business, very successful in the coaching entrepreneur space. And she talked about how she makes decisions. And this first one is, you want to think about it as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Who here, are you familiar? Give me a heart or give me a yes if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the base level needs are needs for safety, security. So that's like food, water, shelter. But the top of the pyramid is about self-actualization. And the way that Kelly talks about making decisions is when you're making decisions, if you're trying to do it based on safety, you're never going to rise up to your next level. You're not, because it doesn't trickle up, it's a trickle down, if that makes sense, from the top of the pyramid. So when you make decisions based on what is going to bring you to that next level of self-actualization. So working from the top of the pyramid, thank you for the hearts, working from the top of the pyramid and letting it trickle down rather than bottom up. Okay. So when you're faced with something that feels really stretchy and feels like, ooh, this is requiring a lot of faith right now. And I'm in those in my life all the time. Like, I just want to let you know, I am so with you. There's so many things in my life that are like, we're moving out in faith on this, but it always works out it always does. It always works out so beautifully, but we have to learn to frame it from the top of the pyramid of, am I making this choice based on safety and trying to stay safe? Or am I making this choice based on self-actualization? And if the choice is, what's the thing that would bring me the highest level of self-actualization in this moment? And that can be from where you live, to the investments you make in yourself, in your business, in your growth, to going for something, like stepping out on a limb and going for something. And this is the second mindset shift, which gives me chills when I think about it, because I think it's one of the most powerful ways that we can learn to make decisions and step out in faith. And this is the second thing that Kelly shared, is you have to remember that you're going to die someday. Like you have, and she said, I remind myself constantly that I'm going to die. And when we can learn to frame decisions in that way and say, what am I trying to hold on so tightly to? And why am I trying to play it so safe and so close to the vest and not go for that thing that feels stretchy and scary, but that still lights my soul on fire? If you actually remembered, because if you remembered that you're going to die someday, what would you do? And when you can learn, and again, this is coming from a woman who's built an 8-figure business. So if you're like, can I trust this way of thinking? Yes. Okay. If you're going for more money and financial up level, trust this way of thinking, because this is how people who are at that level think about it. Remembering you are going to die someday. And with that in mind, what is the thing that if you remembered that, what would you do right now? Okay. And let that frame the actions you take, let that frame the moves you make, let that frame your conversations. And I promise you, the perspective will be, you will, if you don't get it instantly, you'll get it really soon. The perspective on what's going to be that thing that brings you to that self-actualization. What's the thing that you're going to be proud that you did when you're on your deathbed, looking back on your life. And it's like, don't you want to say you went for it? Don't you want to say that you played full out? Don't you want to say that you took every experience and every opportunity, and that you decided to frame things from a point of self-actualization rather than from safety, right? So use those tools as you step out in faith. All right, use those tools, because you will be required to step out in faith when you're going for your up level, and you will not know how it's all going to come together, but you just need to know what's the next thing you can do. That's it. And you already have everything it takes to make the first step, but you must act first, and then the path will be revealed. So you must make a commitment somehow that this is what you're going for. This is what you're claiming. You are claiming, this next level sales income. You are claiming Kahlua, this next level program, right, that you're launching. And what's that next action that you're being called to take to get there? And you must take it with the faith and the knowing that the steps will be revealed to you as you go. Okay. Gail, by the way, good morning. Great to see you. So that's the message for you all this morning. So I hope this spoke to you. I hope this serves you. This is about remembering you always have a choice of whether you're going to choose fear or faith. It is an option. And I encourage you always, 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 always choose faith and act from that higher level of thinking, and watch while everything you want comes to you quickly and in what feels like miraculous and dazzling ways. All right, my friends, thank you for the hearts. I'm grateful for each of you. I love you. Join me every weekday morning, 8:30 Eastern, for these live streams. Cara is saying, I'm claiming a successful, abundant program in business. And so it is. Yes, it is yours. It's already done. Absolutely. Absolutely. And please, if these resonate with you, I would be so honored if you shared this with a friend. This is an important message for all of us, right? So I'd be super honored if you wanted to share this message from today on your social. Thank you so much for the hearts. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern, and wishing you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye for now.